Hey, welcome to Watercooler. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us today. You know how the show goes. Chris Locks, want to kick it with my former Curl Digital Buds, Phyllis Style. With me today, all the way in Orange County, CA, it's Mr. Gary Smith.
What's up?
Hi, Gary. And then all the way in Long Beach, California, like myself, it's Caelan Bean.
What's going on?
Hey, Caelan.
Hey, Chris.
Hey. And then all the way in Nohoka, Mr. Mike Dawson.
Actually, in Concord.
Concord.
California
You're in
today.
I was just going to say,
Concord, bro.
Nice. Look at that.
I'm in the EBA.
Oh, yeah, it's Dark Week, isn't it?
Yep, it is.
Yeah, Dark Week.
It
I
is.
remember Dark Week. Oh, good, man. So you're just you're hanging with the parents?
Yeah, taking care of business. TCB, bro.
TCB, dude. You should
Packing
get some
up
yogurt
stuff.
involved in there too. We do not have Fondelier here. Is he in France right now or south of France?
Yep.
Probably finding.
But he's responding to my emails, so he's not completely
Oh.
disconnected.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, he's there enjoying his good food. I'm sure we'll be hearing a shay or two every day for the next 30 weeks of this trip. But
For the remaining 9 months of this year, right?
yeah, he is missed though. Anyway, dude, vacation time. Dark week. Dawson is off work for a week. Caelan is going to Carlsbad. Gary just got back from Scottsdale. I mean, we have some vacation stories and anticipation going on right now. I just I should do an update. I did not play the national anthem at the festival.
I guess we'll hear it at the
They already
meetup.
asked somebody else.
Meet up.
Yeah, which I think was the right move.
Okay.
I felt like I could take it. Like, there's a part of me that really did want to do it, but at the same time, may have been smarter. You know, I don't think I should play during an election year. You know, just tensions high. No, they went with a singer, which makes more sense. You gotta do the lyrics. But you know, one
I
day
know some Patreon subscribers who are very happy to hear this news.
I'll play it on page. I'll play it on the next meetup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could pull it off. Anyway, yeah. So if anybody wants to get patriotic, sign up for Patreon when we do a meetup every month where we hang, and it's not recorded. We talk a lot of shit. It's fun.
Yeah. Something tells me there might be a TOD that came up today that we'll cover.
It's therapeutic. What?
There might be a topic of discussion that is hitting all my email addresses that we may discuss at the meetup. TBD.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Well, look, as I said, we got a lot going on. I did not play the national anthem. I did play the festival. It was really fun. Guy brought his dog up on stage. An hour. We played an hour.
Nice.
Yeah, guy brought his dog up on stage, which is interesting. Like, he was holding up his dog, and while I was singing, I just pointed, gave him a thumbs up, and then 40 seconds later, he's up on stage with me holding up his dog. So,
yeah, where can we follow your band on Instagram? Because that's where I saw the picture of the dog, and it was adorable.
Oh, at Loxy Music, LAXI Music, and yeah, we have more shows coming up, which I'll talk about at the end of this show. So, I'm happy to promote and hang out with everybody. I also played a wedding on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Which
getting after it
was always fun, nerve-wracking, a lot of pressure. Those mean a lot more just because I know how much those moments mean to them. So,
was this a friend or were you like a hired gun?
Both.
Nice.
It was Will, who plays bass in my band. It was his brother's wedding.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, and I love his family, so anything for the family. And I yeah, and so they didn't really give me much direction except for she wanted to walk down the aisle to Can't Help Falling in Love. Classic. One of my favorite love songs. I mean, just so solid.
That's what I walked down the aisle to.
See?
Did you do it like Elvis?
I kind of did my own
version or Loxamana's version.
Loxamana's version. But inspired by Elvis. I mean, I listened to Elvis's version to figure out Loxamana's version. Yeah, but this always happens to me at weddings. Like, I think about them a lot more than most shows just because I want the moment to get the moment straight, but you can't really time it as well as you'd like with emotions running high, that many people involved, and at the same time, nobody gives an F about you because everyone's focused on the bride, the couple, the moments. So, so one time, like I played a wedding in uh, Denver. I flew out for it, and the bride asked me to learn a specific song. I spent a lot of time learning it, creating a Loxy version of this song because it's pretty fast. But I slowed it down and made it more wedding-like, and I would sing it, and I had to learn all the lyrics. And I got through 2 lines before she got to the front because she walked so fast because she was so nervous, and she just was like, "All right, cut, you're good." And I'm just looking
Oh,
at,
wow.
I flew here. I flew here for this. I brought my guitar. But all right, so this was kind of the same thing. Like it was literally right at the cadence and like, for I can't help, and then the officiant just starts going. And now I can't get the falling in love with you out, which is like, that's
And now it's an
that's the
earworm and it's
anchor.
attacking you. You need to resolve the melody. Yeah. Oh.
Tension's built. Tension is
Oh.
built. No resolution. And so I just had to do a weird fade out and just kind of just like Homer Simpson into the bushes.
Mhm.
But it worked out. People did notice that. Like they came up to me and we wish you would have got that last line in, but I'm not gonna go over the officiant and sing over him so I can resolve the chorus. So it either way, it was a beautiful ceremony. The bridal party did something which I like is you know how do you guys feel about this at weddings? Because it's a popular thing now. When they introduce the bridal party, they all come out. They do they do a little dance, and then on to the next couple. They do a little dance, and that's how they introduce everybody in the party. This time they all came out to the song "Shots." Shot, 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 shot. Everybody.
Not familiar.
Caelan knows it.
LMFAO.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. You know LMFAO, DOS?
Does that mean laugh my fucking ass off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's also
That's all. I know that it is a band. I couldn't name one of their songs.
I think they're DJs, aren't they? They were big like
Like a
10 years
duo.
ago. Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure the guy's uncle is somebody really well known, like Quincy
Isn't it
Jones. Or
Steve
something.
Isn't it? Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I can't remember who it is.
But yeah, he's the nephew of like a very revered musician or actor. Anyway, and they all just had each person had a I don't know, a stack of 8 Jello shots each, and as they came out, they were just passing them out, and the party just went a raging. There were over 1,000 cans of beer just stacked. It was a big affair. Like Will was like, "Hey, can you play my brother's wedding?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, of course." He's like, "Yeah, it's just gonna be my grandma's backyard." Well, I didn't realize his grandma owned an acre of land hidden away in Orange County that, like, I've never seen land this much, a plot of land this big in this area. So yeah, over like it was like 200 people, and it was just crazy. So, but anyway, love playing weddings, love the environment, love the mood, and good thing I brought enough amplification because that would have been embarrassing thinking it was just like a regular wedding.
Speaking of live music, I went to go see my first like live band in I can't even remember how long. I was watching them going, wow, it's really been that long since I've really seen like a live band play. I was pretty amazed.
At the bowl.
No, I went to go see Revolution at the OC Fair at their like amphitheater there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Were you feeling irie?
Well, I'll tell you this. I had a couple before we walked in there, and then we got there pretty early. I was waiting around. We got there like 6, and they started playing like 8 or 8:30. So yeah, I had a couple. Then went and got some food. Kind of calmed down. The show started, and I've told you how I don't smoke weed anymore. I don't like it. Makes me anxious. It's been a couple years now since I've really smoked weed. Well, I'm there watching Revolution, and a blunt just passed over
No
me.
way.
And I was like, okay, well, if I'm at a Revolution show, who's a reggae band, for anyone that doesn't know them, they're very, very good.
Yeah.
From Santa Barbara. Dawson knows them. I was like, if there's any time for me to hit this blunt right now, this is the moment. So I did. I smoked some weed, and that's when I was like, wow, this is so impressive. Oh my God, they're actually playing like all their instruments, and there's no like backing tracks, and they sound just like they do on the songs. Like I expected it to like not sound nearly as good, but the singer sounded just like all the records, and I was just sitting there high as fuck going like, wow, this is very impressive right now. And I was close enough to where I could like see them playing all their instruments and shit. It was and then I realized, wow, it's been a long fucking time since I've like actually seen a show. I can't even really remember the last time.
Yeah, the energy's just different.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, the energy was fucking awesome.
And also because you're high AF. So yeah, I don't participate in the recreational use of marijuana typically, but when the moment calls for it, like there are times when I don't even feel like it, and then it'll get past me and I'll go, well, I can't say no.
It just felt
Yeah.
right.
Like,
I
can think of two, and usually it's with people. Like I don't want to say no because it's cool that I'm just in this circle. Like I remember when I was a lot younger, and Doug Benson handed me like a joint, and he was like the weed king
Sure.
at that time. Like it was like the heyday of Doug Benson, and I thought, well, I got to know what this is like. And so I remember me and a few friends were just like, all right, and we all just did it. And
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a few people that are on the Mount Rushmore where, like, you know, if you get a chance to take a puff with Snoop Dogg, I don't care what the circumstances are, you kind of got to take that shot.
right.
Doug
Like
Benson,
that
I would
video
say,
of him passing it to the security guard at the concert, and the security guard's like, I don't know. And Snoop like does double takes, like, you want it or not? He's like, yeah, okay, give it to me. And he starts hitting it.
Yeah.
So actually, Garrett, the last time that this happened to me was I was at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And there was a member of a very famous band who I love. And
Yeah, I wish I'd seen them live recently.
yeah, and I couldn't say no. I couldn't. And it was one of the
I mean,
greatest moments of my life.
if memory serves, in that one, you guys went out of your way to get the opportunity going yourselves.
That's right. Well, it was kind of our introduction to the person. I don't want to be too coy on this show, but anyway, so yeah, so it's when the moment calls for it, Caelan, I understand.
Yeah,
it's bigger. It's sometimes bigger than you. But I'm glad. So Revolution.
Yeah.
Did you participate at the fair at all? Are there any fair activities?
No, not really.
Straight to the amphitheater.
Yeah, straight to the amphitheater. Yeah.
When I went,
like I said, we got there late, and yeah.
When I went to the fair, I didn't go to the show, but it was Sublime with Rome.
Oh, okay.
He was playing. I think he's finishing out his contract.
Yeah.
In the festival circuit. So
I would have liked to have seen that just to see if he made any passive aggressive remarks, because he's got to be pretty salty.
You think? I think he's happy about it.
I heard him do an interview recently where he was like very excited about the future and about making new music with the guys, like within the last 6 to 9 months. And then I heard that he'd gotten axed, and I was like, ooh.
Oh,
podcast didn't
I
age well.
didn't realize that then. Yeah. Oh well. They did have one good song that I liked. It was an original that they did. It was their first single. It's called like Panic. I like the second half of that song is lights out. All right, look, as I said, we got a lot of show to get to. Caelan, how's your gaming these days?
I'm very proud to say that I have not given in, and I have gone back to my storage unit, but for other reasons. And I have been tempted to take out the PlayStation, but I was actually there today, but I left it in there. I have a lot of work to do right now. Working on my dad's podcast. I got a lot of stuff that is
all right, we'll
work,
get to the plugs later. You got to chill with this.
I didn't even say the
promotion.
name. I didn't even plug it.
I feel like you're just spamming my emails and just nonstop all my accounts right now. Just chill.
Every account, it's just like, God.
Yeah, all the email. Yeah, I think I emailed myself actually.
Enough about your podcast. Hey, when we talk about your storage, can you always refer to it as your treasure?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it should just be what is in your treasure?
Yeah. Just call it your treasure.
Well, there's there's 2 PCs in it right now. I'm gonna like Frankenstein the parts together to build a super gaming PC. There's 2 PCs in it right now. My snowboards are in there. Some artwork from my apartment.
How many snowboards do you have?
Well, I have mine, but then I bought my brother a snowboard for Christmas last year, so it's technically his. But I actually I got the snowboard, but then I really liked the bindings because I got it off OfferUp, and this guy gave me a really good deal, and I really liked the bindings, so I actually just swapped out the bindings onto mine, and then gave him the board with my old bindings on it. So 2 snowboards, one mine, one's my brother's, and
where are they?
In my treasure.
Okay. So 2 snowboards. What kind of art?
Yeah, I thought that shit that Gary saw in the apartment, those Banksy like pictures, and I
Banksy
got
like pictures.
yeah, it's like a Banksy collage sort of thing. I got like a picture of like Marlon Brando doing his makeup on set. That's really cool. I got I think maybe a poster or two, just random shit that I've had in my first studio apartment when I first moved out.
Because this stuff's pretty meaningful if you're paying money to store it somewhere.
Well, I got a lot of Amy stuff in there too. A lot of the kids' stuff now go in there. You know, we just put a bunch
Oh.
of their old, baby stuff in there that we didn't want to throw away. So it's kind of both of our storage unit now.
Hey, Doss, can I pet that dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing a beautiful, beautiful dog here. All right. Now, before we get to comments, I do want to mention that not this last meetup, but maybe the one before it, I was complaining about my belt. Because I have an unconventional belt. I have a ratchet belt, and not because where it
You
clicks.
gotta come up with a better term for it because you're technically correct, but it makes it sound like you have like the jankiest belt of all time.
It does, and I will say that Jen hates it. And when I showed it at the meetup, every female in the meetup was like, "You got to get a new belt. That thing's terrible."
Really?
Yeah, and I love it. It's the most
Okay.
functional belt I've ever had because I don't like leather belts because I always find myself in between holes. So the ratchet has very small increments.
That's your biography. That's your autobiography. Chris Loxamana, In Between Holes.
I
Nope.
am.
Terrible title. Don't use that.
I'm always in between holes, Das. And so the ratchet, just very small increments to where I always find a sweet lock there. So I want to get another ratchet belt. And nobody really pays attention to belts anymore. But if anybody has any good belt recs, please hit me up. Drop it in the Facebook group or something. I'm open. I'm open to trying new things.
RIP our Instagrams.
And if Matt's listening, I would love a Taylor Swift belt. That actually would be very, very nice to have.
She's in Europe right now. Maybe that's secretly why Matt went.
Oh, that's right, Matt.
Yeah.
and Taylor back together again. I hope he gets spammed more. All right, guys, want to do some comments?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Now it's time for listener comments.
I'm excited. All right, and these are all comments found. These first set of comments are on our Patreon page. So I know we don't say it enough. We have a Patreon subscription model where if you
Send
want
out emails about that.
if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, this is what you get. You get an extra episode a week.
Nice.
Thank you, Caelan. I was waiting for some reaction.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty sweet.
You also get the full archive of all the Patreon shows that we've been doing, which were, I mean, how many years have we been doing this on Patreon?
4.
Hundreds of episodes. Hundreds and hundreds of episodes. And then you also get an opportunity to do meetups with us every month. We do a big virtual meetup where we just hang.
Okay.
And then you can watch us do a live podcast as well, and like comment live. So there's that. And we also do a movie club. We talk about a movie every month. But they just did Dumb and Dumber. Imagine
And-
all of us talking about Dumb and Dumber.
And you get this show ad free, so you
Oh.
don't need to listen to any of the ads when you're listening to this show.
Freaking
Very
good.
true, Caelan.
There you
Good
go.
call.
Look at you. All of a sudden,
Someone's got to sell now that Matt's not here.
Speaking of movie club,
Oh yeah. So it's my turn to pick a movie. We always switch out whoever picks the movie. So it's my turn to pick a movie. We always pick a movie, whatever's available on Netflix, just because we feel like that's the most universal streaming service for you to watch the movie, and then we all get together and talk about it. So I was trying to think, what could I pick? Because we've kind of done it all. We've done action, we've done holiday, we've done
Scary.
comedy, we've done
Once.
we've done
done
one
horror.
horror movie.
And a horror.
I thought about doing a horror movie, Caelan. I was thinking about. Oh, by
It
the way,
follows.
I read Abigail. Some effed up ass.
Yeah, it's fun.
It was fun though.
Yeah.
And I thought I'm gonna do romance. I want us all to watch and get
Oh,
together
no.
and do a romantic
Oh.
movie. And here's the thing.
Matt's gonna be so pissed this isn't February.
I wanted to pick a movie that was actually good, because otherwise it was gonna be 50 Shades of Grey.
What's wrong
but-
with that movie? That movie's fantastic. I mean,
Is it?
It's terrible, but it's like a fun watch.
So I thought about it, but I just don't want to subject anybody for like have to sit through a movie that's 25% of Rotten Tomatoes. So
All right.
what?
I feel like that was directed at how high, and I'm
I
offended.
feel like it was too.
No, how that's too generous for how high. So
Get the fuck out of here.
I decided to pick a movie that's at like a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, a romantic film, and the last film that Roger Ebert gave 4 stars to before he died.
Thought he was a 2 thumbs up guy.
He was a stars guy eventually, but when
Okay.
he was with Ebert, I mean, when he was with Siskel or Roper, then he would just throw the thumb up or down. Which I mean, what a good system that was. Can you imagine like a system, like a more complicated system where you have to have a decimal rating and talk about if it's flickable or unflickable?
You
It's
can have both. You can do both.
just impossible. So I went with The Spectacular Now, which I've never seen,
What the fuck is that?
and that's what we're going to be watching. This wonderful
I was
movie
praying
called
for Crazy Stupid Love.
this.
I
Oh
knew
no,
that was a long shot.
I love that movie.
I
I
do.
mean,
I think that's the one. There's a very few romance movies that I really fucking love, and that's one of them.
Well, that's a romantic comedy. I don't know if there's comedy in this one.
Oh,
might just be-
jeez.
it might just be romance and drama.
I mean, after a quick Google, it's Miles Teller and Shailene Woodley, both of whom are unoffensive. Bob Odenkirk. All right, this might
Miles
be
Teller
okay.
does rule.
Okay,
Miles
so none of
Teller's
us have
shit.
seen it. So this will be like a legit movie club where we are all going to watch the movie and then discuss it. So that'll be
Ooh,
fun.
and Caelan, it's an A24, so that bodes well.
Okay, looking
See?
up now.
My
Yeah,
internet
see?
connection kind of faded out at the exact time you announced the movie. What is it?
50 Shades of Grey.
No, seriously.
The Spectacular Now.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I've
Shocking.
never seen it. So good. We'll all watch it, and we'll all yeah. Look, I just came back from a wedding. Love is in the air. I'm feeling it. So yeah, that's what we'll watch, and we'll all discuss as men. All right, let's get into some comments here. This one's on our Patreon page for our episode last week. No Scrubs.
Nice.
Caelan song. Weston Reed. Weston writes, I was just thinking last week that Chris should do the water cooler mouth licks on an actual electric guitar for a change. Weston.
I don't hate that.
Well, I got a meetup that you're gonna love.
That has absolutely crossed my mind. I just was too lazy to set it all up, but it is going to happen in the future. So please continue tuning in because you're going to hear it. Todd Brammer writes, I feel like Marry the Flower Girl and Bribe Kids with Candy at a Wedding might be the 2 worst out of context pieces of wedding advice I've ever heard.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, out of context. But out of context, anything could sound bad. Gary D says,
There's literally dozens of us.
there was another Gary in something like and I thought, oh, that guy's named Gary too in this. What was it? Oh, Ghostbusters.
The new
Paul
one.
Rudd's character's
Yeah.
named Gary.
The dad, Paul Rudd. Yeah, my son is very, very obsessed with that movie at the moment, so I'm aware.
I watched Frozen Empire. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
gonna say
I
very
mean,
good,
look,
but it's strong good.
they did a good job, but they've changed it. It's like they're kids movies now. And
Yeah.
if you think back on it, our parents let us watch those movies as kids, but they were not kids movies.
Right, you're right. Yeah, different tone, but well, fun ride. Gary D says, August 7th ACS, Dawson got a double barrel shot across the podverse with "Take That, Stacy." 2 birds, 1 stone. Nice. Did you say "Take That, Stacy" on ACS?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
I was hoping. Let's see. And then Kelly James, Lame Sauce Asterisk, Smith Chonga 69 says, sounds about right, which I don't know what that means, but thank you for your contribution there. And those are Patreon comments. All right, now let's go over to our Facebook group, which all you have to do is go to facebook.com/groups/Bobo Army Worldwide LLC. Answer a few questions. We might let you in. It's my favorite place on the net. And yeah, just a really great community. So please, if you're not part of this, it's constantly growing. We're having a fun time. Eric Lepore, he says, I went to the family reunion this weekend. I got second place in the skillet toss. I threw it 69 feet. Woof, woof, woof. I also accidentally yelled at a handicapped guy. All right, let's talk about the skillet toss.
I'm
I
curious. Is
talked to
this like
Eric about this.
is this a Midwestern thing or is this specific to his family? Because he's from the
Well,
Pittsburgh area.
he's in Eastern Pennsylvania. He's
Right.
outside of Pittsburgh. I'm not sure, but his father-in-law originally did not want to do the skillet toss because his father-in-law was under the impression that he was going to get that the idea was to hit you in the face with a skillet.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either, sir.
Yeah. But when he said when he yelled at the handicap guy, you guys with kids will understand this, but his little boy Elijah was out playing in a field, and he was with his little cousins, and they were about to start climbing a fence or something, doing something they shouldn't have done. Now Eric is in dad mode. He's just laser focused on his kid 100 yards away, 50 yards away. Just as a handicapped guy is asking the other family members at this park if it's okay if he sits at this table, Eric starts yelling to his son, "No, do not do that." And just and the entire family and the handicap guy thought he was yelling at him and saying that you can't sit here. So I understand his embarrassment in that. It was a kind of funny story.
I just want to throw a skillet as far as I can.
I know skillet toss sounds fun. I wonder how big they are, because if you throw a cast iron skillet, those are pretty weighted, man.
And what are the rules?
69 feet's impressive. I don't know if I could best that.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how many spins I get before I throw it, like a shot put guy.
Yeah, you got to do that.
I would definitely do some
all the
spins. Get the
Yep.
momentum going.
Yeah.
How many spins would you do, Chris?
4.
Let me ask you this: have you ever thrown a shot put?
I believe I have thrown a shot put. Yeah, I was in track and field. I pole vaulted.
I did shot put for a couple years.
Yeah, I pole vaulted, but you know what happens to us pole vaulters.
All right. All right.
What? What are you talking
Billy
about?
over here making Olympic references that people aren't going to get.
How everybody's gonna get that reference? What are you talking about?
It's true.
Dawson, you understand what happened, right?
Oh, yeah, explain it.
Pole in the Olympics, the biggest thing in pole vaulting.
Oh, yeah. I think he actually knocked it over
He did.
before.
With his dong.
Yeah. But, everybody loves a good story.
We sure
Even if it's
do.
not entirely true.
It just I've just all I'll say is I've never bragged about being a pole vaulter as much as I have in the last week.
There you go.
So there you go. Speaking of the Olympics, Ryan Scripps says I had no idea how deficient my diet was in Snoop Dogg. The Olympics coverage has cured me. I plan to take my daily supplements from now on, but I'm kind of serious. I love Snoop.
Yeah, Snoop has transformed himself over the past 10 or 15 years from remember when he was on trial for murder? And now he's just popping up at every Olympic event and he's just beloved by all Americans. I mean, talk about rebranding yourself in a glow up.
Yeah, I mean, partnered with Martha Stewart, also a former. But anyway, he
not murderer, just felon.
Yeah, I was gonna say felon. But he is beloved. He's basically the Dolly Parton of the rap community.
Yep.
Everyone just loves him, wants to work with him. He makes everyone happy. He can do no wrong at this point. So good for him. And it represents my in Caelan City. Ryan Roberts. He says I just joined Patreon. So now my life is going to be listening to all the episodes from the first Patreon to the newest, including the free shows in a row, nonstop at work. So only Watercooler for the next several weeks. Good thing I work alone for 10 to 12 hours a day.
We're gonna have a lot of this is how you remind me.
Yeah, seriously.
Ryan, I suggested in the comments of this post that please don't do this, and I will once again reiterate that this can't be healthy. There's no.
Come on, Chris. We've all gone through DOT from start to finish in a row.
We already have his money. We don't have to. We don't have to now force ourselves onto him. We won. We got it. Oh, are we still recording? No, I just get some variety, listen to some music, listen to silence. I've been finding myself driving in silence a lot lately.
Yeah, I do that from time to time.
It's nice.
It is.
Have you tried it, Caelan?
I tend to drive in silence when I've had like a really long day. Like I can't even be bothered with music or a podcast. Like I just need to sit here and like decompress as best as I can while sitting in traffic for 2 hours. So
Oh.
that's when I do my silent driving time.
Yeah, silent traffic is right up there. I've done plenty of those on the way home from Glendale. Yeah. Doss, how about you? You drive in silence ever?
I drove for about, when I drove to the Bay Area the other day, I drove for about 30 minutes in silence, and it was kind of nice.
It's really nice.
Usually I got classical music on, or I'm listening to an audiobook, but the silence was nice. It was actually the first time I'd driven in silence in a long time.
Yeah.
So
So
no, I don't usually do it. Usually
highly
it's classic.
recommended. Yeah. So for those listening right now, after you're done listening to this podcast, drive in silence
Yeah.
for a little bit and enjoy. It's quite therapeutic. And yeah, does that count as raw dogging it, Gary?
What? Why Gary?
I don't know. You seem like the expert in this.
That would
Caelan's got 2 kids. I feel like he'd be the expert there.
Not with like the biblical way of raw dogging. I'm talking about like the newfangled. I don't know. My camera went off.
What Bible do you have that there's a biblical?
No, I don't know. Let's just move on. But Ryan,
Yes, it's most definitely raw dogging it.
it is okay. Good.
Yeah.
See, there you go. From the mouths of an expert.
Danny Feynman says that the drill a hole in a quarter thing was real, but it only worked about a third of the time. They figured it out at his dad's restaurant in Philly where they had arcade games in the lobby. Yeah, I could see it working, but I don't know. It seems like more effort than it's worth. Maybe these days. Back then, it was probably a big ticket item. Getting a quarter for the arcade. Jake Eskarovich says, listening to the latest show got me thinking, what movie have you not seen that shocks people? I still haven't seen Shawshank, and up to a month ago, I had not seen Titanic. Not one Lord of the Rings either. Well, Jake, I have never seen The Spectacular Now, so I plan on watching that. I recently saw Shawshank, and by recently I meant it was within the last 5 or 6 years. Love it though; it's already up there in the top of the top. And then you gotta watch Lord of the Rings, man. They're great.
Yeah, most definitely.
I got one that'll probably get some people on this here podcast pissed off. I don't think I've seen Tombstone.
Well, Dawson said he hasn't seen The Terminator, so we got 2 for 2 on the podcast.
Any Michael Biehn movies on Netflix? We should start picking Michael Biehn movies.
Well, anytime I need some Bean, I just watch The Rock. I mean,
That's a good one.
it's
Not a
the
lot
best.
of being in it, but
But
that scene
what-
hits.
But what's there is fucking
Yeah,
That scene
Oh,
hits.
does it freaking hit? It's probably the most memorable scene in the movie.
Yeah,
So, yeah, you should be very proud.
that's a fun movie.
Let's see. Scott Breitenstein. He says there's a travel hack here. If you're traveling with a veteran or active duty member in almost any major airport, the USO is a great place to grab free water, food, shower, and a place to rest if you have a long layover. A great resource for travel and recovery. Great tip. So, yeah, definitely check that out, everybody, if you're at the airport. And I think those are all of our comments here. So, everybody, for this week. So, thank you for writing in. We appreciate it. I
If this was
would.
Patreon, there'd be an outro right there. Just for anyone who's on the fence about subscribing, we have outros for all of our seggies on Patreon.
See, I know this show feels like it's a whole ad for Patreon, and Matt would be very
It is.
proud. But no, we do other stuff. We do other stuff too. Don't you worry about it. I was thinking, so you know how they're coming up with like that brain chip,
Neuralink.
Neuralink?
No.
Neuralink?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you interested in that at all, Gary? Is this something that you see in your future, in your brain?
No.
Okay.
No, I think by the time that they perfect it, I'm interested in it, I'm following it, and I keep up to date on the developments they're making and stuff, but I think that it's going to be several decades before it becomes something that just an average consumer would be, eligible for. And I think by that point in my life, I'm not going to want to risk a brain surgery to be able to connect to the internet faster. I'm too connected to the internet as it is.
Right. What is your plan for cell phone and your child?
So where are you going with that?
Fight it as long as I possibly can before I inevitably break down and give in, because it's a security thing which is how I'll justify it at first, and then I'll lose him to it.
What about you, Caelan?
Feeling like going maybe flip phone for
Going
until that's probably not going to
flip
last by
phone, Nokia brick,
13,
Razor.
13. Yeah, that sort of thing until about 13, and then all right, here's a phone, no social media until you're 16.
Aren't they going to be upset that they're going to have flip phones and all their friends are going to have like the iPhone 30?
That's why I said I think about 12 or 13 is probably as long as I'm going to be able to hold out on that one.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been thinking about it, and it's just like, I think I'm going to go as long as I can too. No cell phone.
I feel really bad when I see little kids like 7, 8 just stuck glued to their phone in public.
Caelan, you're a little younger than us. How old were you when you got your first cell phone?
I was probably in like 7th grade, so I was probably about 13, 12 or 13. Yeah.
How about you, Chris?
Nokia.
I was at the end of my junior year in high school.
Okay. Yeah, I was my 16th birthday.
Yeah.
I was a few years past legal drinking age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Snake.
Yeah, a lot of Snake. Oh my God, the productivity in school went just straight to hell when I got that cell phone. I was Snake master. Only in the cell phone sense. Of
Yeah,
the
nope,
word
too late.
term.
Already said it.
It's well established
Yep.
that it was only a cell phone.
Well, I was thinking because, sorry, I was just thinking about the cell phone thing just because we were talking about the Neuralink, and the future of our brains. So they've been like promoting that. Oh yeah, immortality's coming because via AI, they're going to be able to trap our consciousness in I don't know, some form of whatever, and then we'll be able to live forever. And I don't think that really counts.
No,
Because I
it
feel like
doesn't.
I'm still gonna die.
Yeah.
Just because my brain is artificially being held and created and just stored. I don't know. So I don't really count that as immortality yet. So I don't think that they should be saying that. But
Yeah, it's it's certainly not immortality in the true sense of the word, but I think they're already at the point where you could feed all of these podcasts into an AI and then end up with chatbots of the 5 of us and be
Yeah.
able to talk to them and get responses that would be marginally close to what we would be expected to say in real life.
what makes you think that you're not chatting with them right now, Gary?
Oh, I assume I am.
And that I'm already gone.
Oh, I assume that you're playing with Benny somewhere right now and that this is just a hallucination.
I don't know. It's just like stuff like that just freaks me out. But and especially with all this technology. But yeah, no cell phone for the kid till he's
Well, on top of all that
21.
too, on just in terms of the Neuralink, the one I think there's like 3 people that have, but one of them went on Rogan, and it's a very kind of basic system right now. But at one point, Rogan was like, "Can they hack that thing in your brain?" He was like, "Yeah, someone could hack it if they wanted to." I was like, "Oh shit."
Oh, really?
Forget
Yeah,
that.
but again, it's very basic. It's just like kind of like moving a dot around a screen pretty much. But once it gets to that level where it's a lot more advanced, and he was just very casually like, yeah, they could hack it, but they couldn't do a lot with it right now.
For anyone
Yeah.
who's interested, there's a recent episode of the Lex Friedman podcast, which just in general is a great podcast. But in a recent episode, probably from the past 6 weeks or so, he had Elon Musk on, and he also had on the gentleman that went on Rogan. And Lex Friedman's an AI researcher, and they did a long, extensive discussion about where Neuralink is now, where it's going, and it was pretty interesting. So you can check that out.
Dang. My Neuralink's probably gonna have 2-factor. Just really protect me.
Smart.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the move. I want to use it and I don't have my cell phone on me. Ah, damn it. But I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. All right, now it's the time for the show where we all go around the horn and get our plugs in. And I really want you to suggest something good for people to check out. Caelan, I'm looking at you, buddy. Because look, it's summer. People are starved for content. they want to know what they can do, what they can see. So I'll start over there with all the way in Concord, Mr. Mike Dawson. What do you suggest everybody do, check out? What can you recommend?
Oh, I don't know, everybody. Just call your family. Call, so if someone crosses your mind, call them.
Yeah.
Because you'll be surprised at how many times they were thinking of you the exact same time you were thinking of them. Happened to me just the other day. But your friends miss you. Call them.
I love that. And
Great advice.
yeah, and I will say that whenever I have just called people, even just to chat, I've never regretted it. I never thought, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. It always actually is really nice to just have that connection, and maybe they really need the reaching out. Who knows? And also, I want to take this moment to let you guys know I love you.
Oh, we love you too, bud.
All right, Caelan. Everything is something good because I'm going to go to you after Gary. Gary, what do you suggest everybody check out?
Well, I suggest people check out the aforementioned Patreon of this here show, The Watercooler. You can subscribe at patreon.com/watercooler. And in our very next Patreon episode, I am going to seize the opportunity from our freeloader and do a Shea Garay. So you can look forward to
Our
that with pictures
freeloader.
and everything. It's going to be great.
Whoa. Somebody came prepared. What?
Sort of. You'll see, and you'll see when we get there that a lot of the pictures were taken, mid-meal because I forgot. But whatever.
But it's of your table?
Yeah, it's all of my table.
You've already won.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Caelan.
Well, I just wanted to say that I went to Starbucks the other day to get a medium cold brew coffee, and that bitch came out to $5.30, which is 30 cents more than what our Patreon is, which is pretty crazy that even coffee's gotten to that expensive. But yeah, again, Patreon, do the right thing. This week on Just Fooling About, Doug Laux, CIA case officer who infiltrated Al-Qaeda and the Taliban in the field, fucking certified badass. It's an awesome interview. Watch it on YouTube or listen to it, Spotify, Apple, and follow us on socials. And I put clips up from the podcast there. So check that out. It's a really, really great episode.
How do you get certified for being a badass?
You work you infiltrate Al-Qaeda undercover in Afghanistan.
Who's the sanctioning body? Yeah, I will concur. Doug Laux is a certified badass. In fact, after you're done with that, go back to the archives of this show and listen to him on Resume. We had a great chat. And then as for me, by the way, Caelan, great pitch for the Patreon. Like, everybody always says, oh, it's the same as a cup of coffee. We are cheaper than a cup of coffee.
That's it. Really hit me when I paid for that coffee. I went, wow, we are now absolutely cheaper than a medium cup of coffee. It's
more affordable.
Time to raise our prices.
Oh, Matt's like, thank you. Somebody said it. And then as for me, I told you I had shows coming up. I do. I have. I'm playing at Caelan in Long Beach this Saturday, so please come out to that. I'm playing from like 6:30 to 9:30 or 9:45. The whole band, not just me. And then I'm also playing next Saturday, same place in Long Beach, Caelan, same time. So that's August 24th. And then on the 1st, I'm playing at Marina Wine for the Big Bang on the Bay. So come out for the Big Bang on the Bay. And we were playing there, so outside, so it'll be fun. All right. That will do it for this episode of Watercooler. We're going to go ahead and record Patreon. Thank you again so much for hanging out with us, for tuning in. We love it. We love that you comment. We love that you're a part of the show. And we will see you later. Goodbye.
Later.